Now, on to our next story. We kind of talked about it a little bit when our caller called in about the Oregon shooting. Now, as many of you have heard by now, 9 people were killed and 7 were injured when a gunman opened fire at Oregon's Umpqua Community College on Thursday, forcing a nation to face yet another mass shooting. Chris Harper Mercer, the shooter behind the deadly rampage at the community college in Roseburg, Oregon, apparently committed suicide after exchanging gunfire with officers, according to Douglas County Sheriff John Hanlon. Before going to spinal surgery, one of the victims, Anastasia Bolin, told her father and brother the gunman entered her classroom firing. The professor in the classroom was shot point blank. Others were hit, she told her family. The gunman, while reloading his handgun, ordered the students to stand up if they were Christians. And they would stand up, and he said, "Good. Because you're a Christian, you're going to see God in just about 1 second." Bolin's father, Stacy, told CNN, relaying her account to him. And then he just shot and killed them. Investigators found 14 firearms connected to the shooter, authorities said. 5 pistols and 1 rifle were found at the college, and they found multiple other weapons at his apartment. Of course, this brings back into debate about firearms, but no one wants to see him talk about the shooting of Christians element. The fact that he purposely targeted Christians. In fact, President Obama, in his speech after the shooting, mentioned that we should politicize the gun aspect of the shooting, but he did not mention the targeting of Christians at all. The Pope, who's been a very vocal Pope, was also silent. And I can understand the Pope can't get into everyday issues, but he was quite vocal when we had an execution a few weeks, or just last week, and he was against that. But he did not give any kind of support to the victims of someone who is purposely targeting people of the religion he represents. This is just another example of the persecution of Christians worldwide. It's also one the world seems to ignore. What do you think about my aspect on that?
I think, ignoring the worldwide aspect of worldwide persecution of Christians, which I'm not going to debate or discuss, I think it's pretty disheartening and sickening to see our president step up and talk about 3, Muslims that were killed back in South Carolina, right, a few months ago. He'll get up there and he'll talk about that and talk about how it's wrong to persecute people based on their religion, but when it's Christians, that seems to be furthest from his mind. Instead, we need to politicize guns in this country, and we need to ban guns. I'm sick and tired of hearing it from the left that we need to ban guns. It's our constitutional right to have guns.
And like I said, the gun aspect, they like to fall back on that, but the media, everybody is ignoring the whole point of him targeting Christians. And like I said, it's just one more example of it in the world. Nobody's talking about that. And that to me is the most scary part of what happened in Oregon, was the fact that he told the Christians to stand up and then shot them. Nothing, the guns, like I said, that can be debated to death. Nothing's going to change with that. But something can be done about the Christian persecution, and it's one that the whole media is completely ignoring.
And you know what? We should all just remember Chris Mintz. He's an Army veteran. He stood up, got shot 7 times, and you know what? If you are a religious person, say a prayer for him. He's got a small child, Tyrek Mintz, and this guy's a hero in more ways than one.
And that's I think another thing about Americans that always surprises me. We always have people willing to stand up to people. We're not going to sit there and let you take us down. We're not going to let you sit there and kill us. We're going to do something about it. That's what separates us from the rest of the world. Is we have that fighting spirit, and that's why we are the best country in the world. It's people like him. And of course, we do send our prayers out to all the victims and their families of that shooting, because it truly was another tragedy.